Question number 6, A part is a graph is given to you and the parametric equations for it is x 2 cos of 2t and y 4 sine of t. The region R is shaded below in this figure 3 is bounded by the curve along the x-axis and y-axis. Show you are working clearly that the area of that region should be equals to 0 to pi by 4 sine or square of t cos of t. The first part. And for the second part, you have to find the region that is bounded by it by using the integration. Okay, so what you can see over here, region is given to you. So for that one, you have to use the formula for area. So its formula is integration of x dx, or you can say y dx because it's rotated along y axis, so it should be y dx, and the limit will be x1 to x2. But here the situation is different. This whole of this region is rotated and that is depending upon t. So it means that instead of x, you have to take t. How you can? You can see it can be written as dx by dt times by dt, because that is both of the parametric equation is depending upon t and also its range is depending upon t. So it's necessary for you to consider t. By using the chain rule, I can see dx can be written as dx by dt times by dt. That will cancel and again make it same thing. But just because of the requirement, I have to use t, so that's why I will convert it. So let's see. R will be converted into t1 to t2 y of dx by dt times by dt. Y is given to me, that is 4 sine of t. Y is what? It's 4 sine of t. X is what? X is 2 cos of 2t. 2 cos of 2t. I have to find dx by dt first. I was teaching this whole thing in my morning class, so that was its solution is written over here. Let me erase it first. Okay, so I have to calculate dx by dt first. So when I calculate dx by dt, that gives me dx by dt should be equals to minus 4 times of sine of 2t, because cos 2t having a derivative sine 2t times by 2 minus sine of 2t times by 2, that would be 2 times 2 would be minus 4 and 4 sine of t as it is. So let me plug back its value in this equation. It's y, so y is 4 sine of t times by dx by dt, that is minus 4 sine 2t dt, and the range for t is t1 to t2. Okay, so further it can be written as minus 4 times 4 would be 16 sine of t sine of 2t dt, and t1 to t2. I have to use the trigonometric formula for sine of t, sine of 2t actually. Sine of 2t can be written as 2 times of sine of t cos of t, complete angle formula. So it can be written over here t1 to t2 16 sine of t, this is minus 16 actually, minus 16 times by 2 sine of t cos of t dt. So minus 16 times 2 would be 32. So 32 minus 32 sine square of t cos of t dt, and the range is t1 to t2, right? So further the thing that is given to me is about time, that is it's 0 to pi by 2. So whenever it's 0 to pi by 2, now that is for t, I have to find for 2t first. So t is between pi by 2 to 0, and for 2t it would be 0 to pi. So whenever it's 0 to pi, it means that initially I have to choose x is equals to 0 in the parametric equation for x. So you can find t1, because t limits are missing, t1 and t2 are missing. So I will calculate t1 by plugging x is equals to 0 in the parametric equation, that is 2 cos of 2t is equals to x. So x will die out, and 2 cos of 2t, which is equals to 0, and 2 would be over here, and cos 2t is equals to 0. So further you can find t is equals to cos inverse of pi by 4, that gives you cos inverse of 0, that gives you pi by 4 over here. So it means that your t1 is pi by 4 in this case. So instead of t1 you can find its answer as pi by 4. That is the answer for t1. Similarly you can find your answer for t2. Let me check. For t2 you have to choose the parametric equation of y, that is 4 sine of t, and you have to plug y is equals to 0. So when you plug y is equals to 0, then your 4 sine of t is equals to 0 over here, and sine of t, which is equals to again 0, and you can see t is equals to sine inverse of 0, that again gives you t is equals to 0, because it's lying under the range of 0 to pi by 2, 0 to pi actually. So 0 to pi means the t should be equals to t2 should be equals to 0 again. So plug back its value over here, instead of t2 that should be 0. So this is minus pi by 4 to 0. If I swap the limits, instead of pi by 4 I want to shift the upper limit as a lower one and lower as a upper one. So 0 to pi by 4 can be written as 0 to pi by 4, means pi by 4 to 0 are swapped. So whenever the upper and lower limits are swapped, the sign will be reversed. So as a whole you can see your final answer will be generated to 32 sine square of t cos of t. That is over here. So, hope so you understand.